Yo guys, Ollie here, and today we're back with another video where today I'm going to be doing a sort of match review for Middlesbrough versus Watford yesterday. I did this back in January when we faced Blackburn in the Cup, but I did it in the form of a blog written work, and I thought I'd try doing it in video instead this time. See how that goes. I've not written anything down. I probably would have done if I had like my PC or something with me, but it's just me and my phone at the minute because I'm back home from uni. But yeah, I went to Middlesbrough v Watford yesterday and I didn't enjoy it. Took my dad with me, and he said that's the first time he's been able to tell that he doesn't like football, and even he could tell poor old bad yesterday. Yeah, I mean, apart from like 20 minutes at the start of the second half, we didn't really look like creating anything. It's not as if Watford were good either. You know, they came into this game as the worst form team in the league. Their fans were expecting us to battle them. Our fans were expecting them to battle us, so you know it's really quite depressing to be honest. Yeah, the formation was weird. I was sat at home when the lineup came out, and we were playing Hackney, Morris, and Barlaser three centre mids. It was like, how was Carrick changed formation? You know, you had two up front as well, Conway and Iheanacho, and then just Whittaker. Is he playing on? Are we just having one winger? Is he playing in attacking mid? But yeah, I was quite confused by the formation. But then when it kicked off, it appeared to be 4-4-2 with Whittaker on the right and Hackney on the left, which was odd. You know, why change the formation now? But people were saying it was like it could have been Barlaser in the 10, Hackney in the 10, Conway at left wing. Genuinely, I don't know what the formation was yesterday. I still don't know. I believe it was a 4-4-2. That's how we looked set up in the game, but I have no clue, honestly. But yes, I thought the same against Blackburn in the fact that of all the goals we could have conceded, the one we did, we didn't really deserve to. I can't remember what it was in the Blackburn game, but there was far better chances than that Blackburn had. And again today, Watford had far better chances than the one they scored off, which was just a corner. Moves to Sissoko in 2025, by the way. I saw people before the game, Watford fans, complaining that Sissoko was starting. And then he goes and scores the winner, you know, he does. Yeah, game itself was a horrible watch. Yeah, I'll go through the players and then anything else, I think. Mark Travers, he's very good, isn't he? Dare I say, the best goalkeeper with his hands since Darren Randolph we've had. Is he better than Joe Lumley? Better with his hands than Stefan. I think Stefan was probably the best for playing out from the back. Better than Dieng, better than Glover, and then I think it still remains to be seen whether he's better than Sol Bryn, because he's only played like 3 games for us. But yeah, Mark Travers very good at saving. Like, shots will come at him and he will save them. It's mental. How does he do it? He made I think both teams had like 2 or 3 saves each. Burr hit the post as well later on from I think it was Edmondson or Rov, one of the 2 centre halves got a header off a corner and hit the post with that towards late on in the game, which you know could have been a goal, but it wasn't to be. But yeah, Travers, I think, very good. One of the few players that can walk away from these last few games with his head held high. I left the game with about a minute to go because Watford had a corner, and I say, they're going to keep it in. Going to keep it in the corner here, tie waste, aren't they? But the ref blew the whistle while I was still walking down the stairs. And obviously Mark Travers came over towards us and sort of clapping the fans, and I clapped back, you know. I did boo at full time. It's the first time I've ever done it because it just wasn't good. And something needs to change. I'll get onto that later. But I'd hope I don't think I'm booing at everyone there, because some of the players there do not deserve to be booed. They do give their everything for this club, but it's just not coming to fruition at the minute. And obviously Mark Travers is one of them. Someone who isn't is Luke Ayling. Now, before the game, I saw a video of a guy and his two kids putting flowers next to a photo of Luke Ayling. And he goes, "Yeah, why are you putting flowers next to Luke Ayling?" And his kids go, because he's finished. He goes, because he's finished, right? Rest in peace, Luke Ayling's legs. But yeah, poor again yesterday. Finds himself nowhere near the position he should be when we're out of possession. He loses the ball halfway up the pitch and then jogs back. I'm a strong believer. I try to be as positive as I can with Borough. I don't believe in setting a pylon and spreading hate towards the players on social media because they do see it and it does affect the performance. Sorry, I'm a bit dark, but they're my blinds. I just realised I'm a bit dark. There we are, but I don't believe in setting a pylon and hatred towards the players on social media because they do see it and it does affect them. I believe in being positive, getting behind them because that gets the best out of them. They feel, like they can do it. But I just don't believe Luke Ayling is good enough to play for Middlesbrough anymore. And to be honest, it's not like... To be fair, Dykesdale played half an hour yesterday, I think, which is good. He's back. I don't think he was going to play the full game because apparently he only had 3 days of training, so would make him play the full 90, but thank God he's back. Luke Ayling can go on the bench. We could have had another right back, if only there'd just been a period of time where we could get new players in, that would help, but it's a shame that doesn't exist. But yeah, people around me in the stand weren't happy with Luke Ayling, and I don't blame him, to be honest. Centre half, Rav was fine. Yeah, I've seen people say Rav's a bit overrated. Maybe, but he's 20. He's only going to get better. He's still young. You might have a mistake on him or two, and might not be as comfortable on the ball as like Edmondson, who I think is like 26, 27. He's had Edmondson doesn't look comfortable on the ball either. But if all the players are more experienced, they'll be more comfortable on the ball. They'll know what to do with it. Rav, he's 20. He's still very good for his age, man. But it was fine yesterday. Edmondson, I just worry every time he gets the ball. He drove up the pitch a few times, which is probably the best thing he did. he got to their box and passed it out. I just said, so I've seen enough stick him up front and people in front of me laughed. So yeah, at least you can find happiness in something that isn't the football game. But yeah, Edmondson, I just worry any time the ball goes towards him. Again, I don't know why. I don't understand the January we had. If we look at our defence, we went into January with 3 left backs. None of them can defend. Borges, Bangura, Engel. Bangura's injured, so technically we went into January. Why is my hand so shaky? Bloody hell. Went into January with 2 left backs. We signed Giles, so that's 3 left backs. None of them who can defend. So technically now we have 4 right backs because of Bangura, but he's injured, so. And Engel left, so we have 3 or 2. What left back? It wasn't really an issue in terms of personnel. It was an issue in terms of none of them can defend. Borges was all right yesterday. I find he's a really safe player. He'll drive up the pitch a bit, turn around, pass sideways. That's fine. I don't think he lost the ball many times yesterday. He was just very safe with it, which was fine. If we got subbed out for Forces, we were trying to get a goal late on. Seemed a bit desperate from Carrick, but Bangura, I believe, out for the rest of the season, so that's why we got Giles in, who can't defend these, but he's. The difference between Giles and Ayling, obviously, they both get caught out of position very a lot on the counter when they lose a ball. Giles sprints back, it was against was it Sunderland or Sheffield United where he lost the ball, and he just sprinted back. He was the furthest back after losing the ball. But Ayling, he's just Watford will score and he's still in their half. It's I don't know. But yeah, Giles works hard, good passer of the ball, gets caught out a lot. And then centre-backs, obviously we have, not counting Lenihan because he's injured, we had 4 going into January. Clark, Fry, Rav, Edmondson. We lost Edmondson, signing back on a permanent, lost Clark. So we're 1 centre-back worse off than we were in January, which doesn't make any sense. And then right back, obviously we went into January with 3 right backs. Ayling, Dykesdale, Tommy Smith. Tommy Smith retired. And we didn't bring anyone in. And Dykesdale was injured as well. So we came out of January with 1 fit right back. Our January didn't make sense. It's the first time in a while I've questioned the recruitment team. What was the strategy? We signed 15 wingers and like 2 defenders, Giles and Edmondson. But yeah, like I said, Borges was fine yesterday. The midfield, well, Hackney and Morris will start off with. Good, they work well together. Both fine. Hackney did alright off the left when he was playing there. Morris again, fine. You know, he's Barlaster as well. Not the best, but not awful. You see, Finn Azaz got dropped today. So like I said, we had Morgan Whittaker and then 2 up top. Whittaker was fine. You know, he took on players a few. He was good. But Whittaker was alright. I think I underrated him a bit yesterday. He was good. He took on the player a few times, and more often than not succeeded. It's just obviously we couldn't really do anything with it because we've got some fat bastard up front in Iheanacho. But yeah, Whittaker was good. He'll come good. You know, he's only played 2 games so far, and Plymouth fans are all coming like, "Oh, I've spent $6 million on him," and you know he's been absolute crap for you. He's played 2 games. You know, we've seen what he can do for Plymouth. You know, he is a good player. That's why we signed him. And he scored 19 goals I've seen. You know, I think Whittaker will be class next season. I think once he's fully spent a while integrating into the squad, and I think genuinely we should look at him as one of our main attacking threats because, like I said, he scored 19 goals for a Plymouth side that struggled last season. So, you know, I think he could actually become a very important player next season. Well, obviously we'll see over time whether that's under a new manager and whether he can maybe even kick on end of this season. But yeah, I think Whittaker will come good. He was fine yesterday. Tommy Conway, what a bloke, by the way, posted today that he was like, "Oh, we hear you loud and clear and we understand. We're working hard to try and rectify this," or something like that. You know, he posted a message on Instagram, and he's again. I think him, from the players who started the game, him, Travers, Hackney and Morris, and Whittaker can come away with heads held high from players that started the game. Conway was good. I think being played out of position a bit. He moved over to the left wing a bit. But he's good. He's a hard worker, which is good. Because you've not got many of them in the team at the minute. So yeah, Conway was good. And then Iheanacho, man. What is the point? Genuinely, I'd say our worst bit of January business was signing Iheanacho to replace Lartenlath. Lartenlath's main attribute wasn't even his goal scoring, it was his pressing. He ran at those defenders non-stop for 90 minutes, you know. And then we get Iheanacho, who was out of position half the time. He'd get the ball in like hour half, and I'd be like, "Why are you there?" Or he'd drift over like the edge of the box. Why are you there? I don't think he had a shot yesterday. He's not very mobile. He's 28 on loan. He's just a. I don't understand the signing of Iheanacho. I really hope he proves me wrong, you know, and that he kicks on and shows us his form that he had for like Man City and Leicester in his younger days. But I just don't get it. Out of the players that come on, Bergzog came on for Barlaser at half time, which I think the guy behind me said first time in 3 years at the club that Carrick's ever made a half time substitution. Bergzog's our most important player at the minute. And I was thinking who would fancy as our player of the season. And they might say Bergzog because he's our best player at the minute, but most important player doesn't necessarily mean best. Bergzog, he's our best player at the minute. Because see, in the summer, last season he was on loan at Huddersfield. When we signed him from Mines, all the Huddersfield fans saying, "Oh, you'll hate him. He's selfish and he's arrogant and you'll be arguing with the fans within 2 weeks." I think it's one of the best attributes about Carrick's management is man management. He gets the best out of players. Like he got the best out of Tuba. He's getting the best out of teenage Rav. He's a very good man manager. It's just his game management isn't tip-top shape, but he's been a manager for 3 years. We are his first ever job. He can only learn, which you see it appears he has because he made half-time substitution yesterday because he knew things were getting desperate. But yeah, Bergzog, not selfish. I thought his decision making is actually quite good. He knows when he should run at the player and take him on, or whether he should pass it. And again, he doesn't stop running. Everyone else jogging back after he lose the ball. Bergzog sprinting back. He's our most important player at the minute. Him and Tommy Conway, they should be starting up front together. I think genuinely maybe we move to a three in midfield. The front three: Bergzog off the left, Whittaker on the right, Conway up front. I think that sounds good to me. You see in the midfield, Aidan Morris in the deep line role, and then Hackney and Barlasser in the midfield, or Hackney and Azaz. If you feel like playing Azaz a bit deeper. Yeah, that was one of the substitutions. Like I said, Dijksteel on for Ayling. Dijksteel was good. He still has the ability to turn into prime Messi. Because he did that against Leeds earlier on in the season in the Cup. He turned into prime Messi for his goal, and he's done it every time I've been to watch him since. He's quite good at it. He's defensively solid as well. Good passing range. I really hope he's fit enough to start full games now, so we don't have to play Luke Cayley. But yeah, Dijksteel very good. Who else came on? Azaz came on for Iheanacho, I believe. I see people saying Azaz needed to be dropped because he's not been in great form for a while now. To be honest, he had people say he had his 3-game spell against QPR, Luton and Oxford where he stat padded those goals and assists. But I thought Azaz was alright yesterday. Again, the people around, I hear the Buradars, as we call them, around me. Azaz always looks like he wants the ball, but he's never in a good position to receive it. And I watched him throughout the game and I thought, you know what, they're right. Like, I found myself agreeing with the Buradars yesterday. That's how bad it got. But yeah, Azaz did alright yesterday. I feel like being benched did him alright. He came on hungry to change the game, and he didn't. But, who else did we have? Obviously, Force on for Borges when we're getting desperate. Force was fine. He was poor against Sunderland. He didn't really do anything. Yesterday, we had 6 different attackers on the pitch yesterday, which is mental. Our final substitution, who was it? Can't remember actually. You see, Dale Fry missed out through illness. Who was our final sub? A good question. Oh yeah, Illing Jr. on for Whittaker. I will say Illing Jr.'s corners are very good. One of the only positives I took out from the game. Takes very good corners. I think he took like 3 yesterday. One of them he slightly overhit, but obviously one of them led to the header that hit the post. Does look to take a player on, but doesn't really look like he succeeds often. Then again, he's also a young player. I saw people say apparently he's starting left wing back for Bologna in the Champions League, and we're playing him right wing, complete opposite end of the pitch and different role than he's been asked to by a lower level club, so it takes some time for him to get him to adjust to, but he's played 8 Champions League games this season, so you say, he'll take some time to adjust to a harder league, like a more difficult league to play in. And then people saying, oh no, he's played in the Champions League 8 times this season, he shouldn't need time to adapt. It's weighing up the options. But again, I believe that 90% of the players we have at the club are good enough to play for Middlesbrough. And, they've shown potential that they can change the game. I think some of the only ones that aren't are Ayling, Edmondson, maybe no, and Borges was solid yesterday, and Giles obviously can change the game. His defence isn't great. Maybe Barlasser, but then again, he can have his passing's his best attribute. But obviously, when Morris was injured, we played him in a midfield two with Hackney, and they play the same position. Like I play Football Manager in Middlesbrough. I have one defensive midfielder and one deep line playmaker. So the defensive midfielders we have Howson and Morris. And the two deep line playmakers we have Hackney and Barlasser, who look to pass the ball to carry it forward. Morris and Howson receive the ball off the defence or tackle them themselves, pass it off to the deep line playmaker, and then they spray the pass forward or drive forward with it. See, Hackney and Barlasser are both that role, so no one, back when we had them two playing together, no one did the role of actually winning the ball back or receiving it off the midfielder, so that's why we had a bad period then. But obviously, Barlasser and Morris could work. Hackney and Morris does work. Howson and Barlasser could work. I think we did have that combination a couple of times this season, and it did do all right. Maybe if play Barlasser a bit further forward in that three, because he's good at passing, just not much else really. I think when we signed him, he was the league's assist holder. Yes, he put for a Rotherham team, so he does stand out a bit more. But he still has the potential. I think he still has a future at the club, to be honest. But with this, I don't. He was looking to leave this summer. He was going to go to Derby with Matt Clark, but obviously it didn't come to fruition because we'd have been even shorter on numbers. We couldn't guarantee a replacement. But yeah, I think the only two players that don't really deserve to be starting for Middlesbrough at the minute are Edmondson and Ayling. But obviously Edmondson and Rav were our only two fit centre-halves yesterday, so we have to start them. Ayling's our only fully fit. Dicey's probably more fit than him. And he's only been back in training 3 days. But, why don't we have options? We had a full month and a bit to get more options in. Why didn't we? We didn't need Ayling Jr. Don't get me wrong, he's a fantastic player. He's played 8 games in the Champions League for Bologna, he's actually doing something right. We don't need him though. We didn't need another attacker. We needed a right back, or a centre back, or a defensive midfielder, And then Carrick as well. It's a weird question, isn't it? Does he go? I think I am Carrick out. I've slept on it, and like yesterday after the game, I was fully he needs to go. Well, I've slept on it, and I'm still Carrick out, but it's because he's shown what he is capable of. That season with Tuba, we have flashes. I mean, the season with Tuba, that's what I call it. It was good. It was his first season in management. Obviously, we can play like that under him. Why don't we do it more often? Is the question. So we can finish in the playoffs because we did under him. Is that his ceiling though? Do we need to get a better manager in to actually finish the job? It's championships. I said to my dad, the championship's a weird league because we've seen the Premier League. You have all these foreign managers with their styles of play from their countries. Then League 1, League 2 and below, you have English managers with, standard styles of play, your 4-4-2. Just hump it long to the big guy, 5 at the back. Defensive, but obviously the championships where they culminate, you get teams relegated from the Premier League with foreign bosses and teams promoted from League 1 with English bosses and their styles of play. So it just comes together in the championship. And obviously Carrick, he had his style of play in the Tuba season. Because obviously the defence, Stefan has the ball, passes out at the centre half, play it around the back for a bit. Giles gets the ball, bombs forward. Tommy Smith shifts in to make a 3 in defence. And then obviously do whatever we do there. Pass it off to Tuba, obviously out to Ramsey, out to Force. It worked. We had a style of play. We don't have a style of play at the minute. I don't know what we actually do. Travers gets the ball, passes it out to Ayling, Edmondson and Rav. We pass it around the back for ages until the crowd gets agitated, and then passes it out to Hackney or Morris, Hackney drives forward a bit, pass it out to the wings, cross it into the box, no one's there, Watford counter, Watford score. I've seen that's not what happened in the game. I'm just using Watford as an example because that's who we played yesterday. I just don't get it, We've seen what he can do. Do we stick with him? And because we have that every season, we have a period in like late September, October, where we do go through a rough patch. And what have we done previously? We've stuck by Carrick, and he's got us out of that bad patch, and he's got results. But obviously, this bad patch has been quite a bad patch, Apart from those 3 games, we've not had a good run this season. We've won once since New Year's. We've won once this calendar year, and that was New Year's Day. We've won twice since the 20th of October. Not October, bloody hell, December. Do we stick by him and hope he gets us out of a bad patch again? Or is this as far as he can take us? I don't know. I mean, we'll only find out, the club's posted one thing since the game, and that was his post-match interview. So, almost radio silence might not be a good sign, but I don't know. I think the blame can be split. I think 40% Carrick, because his game management is poor, and team selection as well, maybe. 35% the players, because they're actually the ones on the pitch, but Carrick selecting the ones who go on the pitch, and that makes 75%, doesn't it? So, say 25%. Well, I'm including the coaches as well with Carrick, because people say, Woodgate needs to go as well, because I think he's our defensive coach, but we're getting worse defensively, so it's like 25% of the board as well. I have full belief in Kieran Scott and Neil Borsa. We make good signings, and we make profit off the ones that we want to profit on, and they play well while they're here. That January was just so baffling. Why did we sign 15 attackers and no players actually solved our issues? So we signed one player that solve our issues. That was Iheanacho in Lath. And he's been absolute cack so far. Complete opposite player of Lath, and it just doesn't make any sense. Well, I don't know, and my phone's almost out of charge anyway, so I'm going to end the video here. If you want to see more things like this, or you prefer them in written form, in a blog, then do let me know. But yeah, that was Middlesbrough versus Watford match report, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.